Data is probably your number one resource, especially in the world of AI, and how you use it can make or break your business. A lot of times, agencies will come to me and they'll want to automate certain things, they'll want to improve certain processes, but at the end of the day, they need to know what their data is. So, for instance, what their revenue is, how many leads are they getting, how many are they closing, what their close rate is, and all those various different types of data. And AI is really good at updating this data, but you really need to show it off. So, in this video, I'm going to give you two or your business and how you can also build it out for you. So the two different main ways that I will build out dashboards are inside of a CRM, and then also inside of so these are the two different dashboards that I've built out. So one's inside of a CRM, so this is inside of a HubSpot for one of our clients, and this is actually like a lot of test data specifically for them. So the biggest thing that we like to show off here is, for instance, like for a CFO. So a lot of times, if you're growing as an agency, and let's say you're doing, $100,000, $200,000 a month, one of the biggest thing for you that you need to be able to see is where that revenue is going, how much revenue is coming over the last 12 days, and then doing financial reports outside of your CRM. So typically inside of your CRM, you might not necessarily have the best data. So you obviously have to get that working on your pipeline correctly. But whenever we build out the CFO dashboard, it's really based on a few different things. So it's based on closed won revenue. So this is like obviously the biggest thing right here. So how much revenue have we actually closed over the last 12 months? So that's like trailing 12 months. And then we have forecasted. So how much forecasted in the next 30 days, and then forecasted in the next 90 days, and then forecasted in the next 12 months. So the biggest thing that you can do with this is you would, first of all, discount obviously the different phase we like to do around 80% is typically where we sit there. So hey, what pipelines are actually getting the most value right there? And then also we can do like deal count per stage. So how many, right now we only have one deal that actually needs to be updated inside the CRM. So this is a really important dashboard. It's super critical for your team to be able to see, for them to be able to go back and forth and be able to see it at a moment's notice. Another one that we also like to do is like the lead pipeline dashboard. And this one doesn't look like we actually finished setting it up. So another really good dashboard that we like to build out is like your open leads dashboard, is like your pipeline dashboard. So this one we're still working on actually building it out for this client. But basically what this will show is this will show like your lead summary. It's going to show your open leads. So we have 2 open leads, how many are in progress, what's your average time inside of each milestone. So it's 5.9 months. So obviously this client has a lot of work to do, but this time can also be extended based on your deal flow and how quickly deals close and stuff like that for you. And then we also have like deals by source and stuff like that. So this is a dashboard that we would finalize and build out so you can really see where your information coming up. The second type of dashboard that we will fill out your CRM, if you have any type of like outside resource, like a project management tool, this is more of a, we like to call like a head overhead dashboard. And the reason why this is super critical for anyone is because you need to be able to see all your revenue coming in. You need your managers all to be on the same page. You don't want to hide data from various different ones. And then whenever, if you have like a managers meeting, you able to pull this up and say, hey, this is exactly what we have here. So the biggest thing here is obviously we have our key financial metrics. So your revenue, profit, EBITDA, net profit, cash position. And then also we have account receivables overdue. So you have 239 that are overdue invoices. Debtor days, so how many days typically to pay is 24. And then collected is 500. Your collected month to date. So how much have you actually collected this month? And then we also have specific with this company, they're a recruiting company. And with this company, we were able to do various different operations. So they had this amount of active temps. We have weekly payroll, overheads, active timesheets. So it looks like there's some duplicate data here, which obviously we need to make sure we are reordering there whenever we finish building this. And then we're going to have like any type of other like compliance forecast. So in this case, they don't have a great CRM integration. So the CRM pipeline system is not set up fully yet, but we also have like various different dashboards for P&L. For closed revenue, closed loss, and stuff like that. So let's just talk about the way that you would be able to build this out inside of your inside for yourself. So the way that we like to build these out, specifically when we're building out for an agency, is there's two different ways we can do it, right? So there's one way where we basically just are going to take our CRM and then we're going to what I like to say is brute force the dashboards. So we're going to brute force them. That's a terrible arrow. We're going to brute force them over to some sort of dashboard. So whether typically that's like inside of the CRM or that's outside of the CRM, and that's like what you saw there on HubSpot. Now, these are super useful, especially because they're easy to see. You can easily notify them. You can easily have some information on them as far as trend lines and stuff like that. They're a little bit more difficult to set up just because obviously like sometimes these softwares don't work super well with AI, but these are really fun to set up and are really helpful for the team, especially at a glance, getting really, really critical information. And then from that, we can obviously put that we can send some of that information to your Slack or also to your email. So that's the first way of doing it. And I do like doing this. We set up a lot of these in HubSpot specifically. But sometimes HubSpot's data isn't necessarily going to be conventional to being able to set up like this. So this is the first way. The second way that we do this, and a lot of our clients are asking for similar stuff like this now, is we basically have like an API layer here, right? So there's an API. All systems have an API here. And then what we do is we use like Claude along with Modal. So Claude is an AI. I'm sure you've heard of it by now, but you can really use any LLM that you want. But basically, all you're going to say is, "Hey, I've got these tools. So I've got a CRM, I've got a create a database based on all this different type of information." And then what you're going to do is you're going to tell it, okay, is just how I like to set up these dashboards. The reason for that is because it's super easy for the client to have. So setting up some of these dashboards are super clear here. So what you're going to do is your system syncing, and then sometimes like you might not be able to get an API from your PM tool. So then what you have to do is you have to decide, okay, is the information there going to be automatically synced using a CSV? So like a CSV, so someone's going to automatically fill that in or update it every single day. Or what you can do sometimes here is you can say, hey, I want to be able to drop a screenshot inside of the tool, and that tool is basically going to pull all the data from that screenshot and then put the information inside of these systems here. So then what you're going to do is once you have all that set up, then what you can do is you can actually set up your dashboard here. And like I said, I like to use Lovable. A lot of people are down on Lovable, they're down on Claude Code, all that different stuff. Um, but I really like Lovable. I think it creates beautiful dashboards. I think it's one of the best ones out there, and also it's really inexpensive to set up and to get up and running, and to get something that's pretty straightforward and easy, good, fun to look at here. So then what we can do is from Lovable, what I like to do is the final step, which is like what a lot of people don't think about, which is obviously setting up your dashboard and then also like sending specific emails every single day or every single week, like, hey, what's going on with the dashboard? And then like tracking, right? So this is like your tracking step. So, okay, you want your system to look at your dashboard and say, okay, hey, our EBITDA is way down. Why is it down? And then ask specific, like really specific questions. You want to send you an email every single day, or like a notification if something goes below this or something goes above this. All that information takes a lot of, just takes some prompting to create it. But these are super critical. And then also being able to integrate into your Slack. So the greatest thing about something like this, if you use Claude along with all these great systems here, is you can actually like just ask Claude. You can say, hey, I need you to, this is my representation of Claude. I need you to, give me what my CRM close opportunities were next week. And as long as it has the data, as long as it's coming in correctly, then what it will do is it will actually just go ahead and pull all that data there. And now you have a system that you can ask questions to and get all the information to. So this is exactly how we set up dashboards for a lot of various different agencies. We also do it for SaaS companies and recruiting companies, software companies, manufacturing companies, any really type of business that you have data. Data is your superpower, and if you're not using it correctly, this could be something that could detriment your business and you not making decisions based on the right data. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Looking forward to working with you.